Check out 7 interesting facts about Mount Everest. Mount Everest is located in the Himalayan mountains, between Tibet and Nepal. Considered the highest mountain on Earth, some say it isn't, but you'll only find out in another video later. Mount Everest is 8,844 meters high and was named by Sir Andrew Scott Waugh, the Governor-General of British colonial India, in honor of his predecessor, Sir George Everest. In 1852, it was identified as the highest mountain in the world by Radhanath Sikdar, an Indian mathematician and surveyor from Bengal. But it wasn't until 1953 that it was first climbed. The feat was achieved by Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, who made history as the first successful climbers of Mount Everest. However, the desire to climb the mountain has not diminished over the decades. According to statistics, by the end of 2006, 8,030 people had attempted to reach the summit, of which 212 did not return, and 56% of them died after reaching the summit. Everest is like that, holding triumphs and tragedies, as well as other interesting facts. Check out some below. Mountain spiders. Even with the thin air at altitude, climbers have even more reason to worry, besides climbing to the top: spiders. The species Euophrys omnisupersts, better known as the Himalayan jumping spider, did you feel the drama? Hides in nooks and crannies on the slopes of Everest. Climbers have observed them appearing at altitudes up to 6,700 meters. The small spiders feed on any insects carried by strong winds to the rocks. They are practically the only animals permanently residing at such a high altitude, besides a few bird species. 2 men have climbed the mountain 21 times. The Sherpas, or Sherpas, are the ethnic group of the Himalayan region where Everest is located. Many of them have climbed the mountain, but only 2 have achieved the feat of doing so 21 times. Appa Sherpa and Phurba Tashi hold the joint record for most ascents of Everest. Phurba reached the top of the world 3 times, in 2007 alone, and Appa successfully reached the summit nearly every year between 1990 and 2011. Appa says he has observed clear changes to the mountain caused by global warming over the years. He has spoken of his concerns about melting snow and glaciers, which expose the rock and make it increasingly difficult to climb. He also worries about the well-being of his people after losing his own home in a flood caused by melting glaciers. To draw global attention to these issues, Appa dedicated several Everest ascents to raising awareness about climate change. The brawl at the top of the world. Everest climbs aren't always the harmonious, glorious triumphs you might imagine. In 2013, climbers Uli Steck, Simone Morrow, and Jonathan Griffith engaged in a violent brawl with Sherpas after allegedly ignoring orders to stop climbing. The Sherpas accused the climbers of getting in their way, causing an avalanche that hit other Sherpas climbing lower down the mountain. The climbers denied the accusations, and the confrontation turned violent. The Sherpas then attacked with kicks, punches, and rocks, with Morrow saying one of them even threatened to kill her. The fight could have ended much worse, but American climber Melissa Arnott warned the trio to flee to camp before they mauled them to death. After the incident, a Nepalese army officer intervened, and the 2 sides signed a peace agreement to resolve the situation. A 450-million-year-old history. Although the Himalayan mountains were formed 60 million years ago, Everest's history actually goes back much further. The limestone and sandstone rock at the mountain's summit were once part of sedimentary layers below sea level 450 million years ago. Incredible, isn't it? Over time, the rocks at the seabed were forced and pushed upward at a rate of up to 11 centimeters per year, reaching their current position. Most surprisingly, Everest's upper formations contain fossils of sea creatures and shells that once occupied the ocean. Explorer Noel Odell was the first to discover fossils embedded within Everest's rocks in 1924, proving that the mountain was once under the sea. Height dispute. The exact height of Everest is somewhat relative. For example, some sources say it's 8,844 meters, as we mentioned at the beginning of this article. With snow, it rises to 8,848 meters. However, the height can also vary depending on which side of the border you're on. How so? UST, as the numbers above suggest, the Chinese say the peak is 8,844 meters, while the people of Nepal say 8,848 meters. This is because China argues that the mountain should be measured purely by the height of the rocks, excluding the meters of snow on top. It's growing. Although both heights mentioned above are considered, both may be inaccurate, according to more recent measurements. In 1994, a research team found that Everest continues to grow about 4 millimeters each year. According to the study, the Indian subcontinent was originally an independent landmass that collided with Asia, forming the Himalayas, and the continental plates are still moving, pushing the mountains ever higher. In 1999, American researchers placed a global positioning satellite device below the summit to measure growth. Their more accurate results led to Everest's official height being changed to 8,850 meters. However, not all official sources disclose this number. The dirtiest mountain in the world. There are uneducated people all over the world, aren't there? So much so that even Everest suffers from the trash left behind by visitors and climbers. The mountain is not only littered with the bodies of climbers, but also has about 50 tons of waste, with more left behind each season. The slopes are strewn with used oxygen cylinders, climbing equipment, and a lot of human feces. The Eco-Everest expedition has been going to the mountain every year since 2008 to try to solve the problem and has already collected more than 13 tons of trash so far. The Nepalese government wants to impose a new rule starting this year, requiring climbers to collect at least 8 kilograms of waste on their descent, or they will lose their $4,000 travel allowance deposit. Artists working on the Everest 8848 art project have successfully transformed tons of trash, including broken tents and beer cans, into 75 pieces of art to raise awareness about environmental issues. If you like this video, subscribe and click the bell to receive more content like this. If you want to make money with artificial intelligence or activate your millionaire mind, just click the link in the video description. See you later.